What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Walking on Water. In today's episode, we are going to go over drift fishing for steelhead. This is a continuance of the Simple Steelhead Series that we are running on the channel right now. First of all, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I can't wait to get on the freaking water and start bonking some of these big steelhead. But let's take a look down here at the analytics just really fast. 93.3% of people that come across the channel are actually not subscribing, and 6.7% of people are subscribing. It's free to subscribe, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share videos, and you will be entered to win a Lew's Mach 2 BAITCASTER combo, and we are going to give that away on the new year. So make sure you're subscribing, and sharing videos on the channel. Let's get into drift fishing for steelhead. All right, guys, so first of all, we have the rod. It's an 8.5 rod. It's got a soft back. A soft back rod is going to be perfect for drift fishing for steelhead because you're bouncing and carrying that weight, feeling the bump of the rocks as that weight is traveling down the current on the bottom of the river, okay? So we have a soft back rod, we have an inline or a BAITCASTER reel with a braid, spider wire, 50-pound line on it. I like to run braid on a lot of different setups, and I like to run mono on some. Braid is obviously going to be your best option, a very thin diameter, it's a very tough line. Let's get into how to set this up. It's super simple, super easy, it's going to be really fast. Let's just get it done. First thing we're going to do, we're going to grab a 3-way swivel just like so, and we're going to attach a snap to it just like this, okay? I have a little 550 cord slinky weight right here. I like using the slinky weights because they're bendable, they're malleable, they move a little bit, and when you do get it down into a rock like so, it sinks down into a rock and it goes to pull, it slinkies itself out. So it's a great weight for drift fishing, so you can feel the weight move along the bottom. It's rolling over the rocks, it's not getting stuck, it's not getting hung up, and most of the time, you can use pencil lead too. Pencil lead's great, you can clip it on there, it's really easy, but I like to use the slinkies and the 550. They just don't get hung up as much for me in the water. So we got our, again, we have our 3-way swivel like this with a snap on it down to our weight, okay? And we're just going to do a fisherman's knot on one of the loops of the swivel, just like so. Okay, we're going to wrap. I like to do 8 wraps. I like to pinch the eye of the line so I can get the string through. Okay, just like so. Grab it, back through the big loop. Go ahead and pull it tight. Wet it down a little bit, and then suck it down. We will cut our tag ends off and we are done, just like so. So we have our main line, we have our rod. Our main line is a braid down to our 3-way swivel with our slinky on it, okay? Then we're gonna go ahead and grab our offering or our bait that we're gonna use to drift fish for steelhead. Let's get into that. So there's a couple different options that I like to run when we're drift fishing for steelhead. I like to use a yarny or a yarn ball like so, or I like to use a soft bead just like that, okay? You can use you can drift fish worms, you can drift fish many different things, but these are the 2 main setups I'm going to be using when I'm going winter steelhead fishing this year. We're going to grab our offering, we're going to grab this is a 15-pound mono line right here. We're going to go ahead and just do another little fisherman's knot onto the other end of our 3-way swivel. You want to wet this, wet it, pull it tight, okay? Now, all right, guys, so our setup as it is right now, okay? So the Simple Series setup here, right here, the drift fishing for steelhead, we have our 3-way swivel down to our slinky weight, down to our offering or our bait, just like so. Let's talk about how we're gonna fish this and where we wanna fish this and what we're looking for when we're fishing this, okay? Okay, where do we want to drift fish for steelhead if you are not in a boat? What are we looking for? So when we walk up to the body of water that we're fishing, AKA the river, and you're looking at a set of rapids, when you're drift fishing, more times than not, you're only gonna really wanna drift fish if you're in a little bit of a faster current, okay? The current has to be able to carry the weight and your bait downriver. When you go up to a spot and you're looking out at the water and you have a current that's running downstream like so, you're gonna wanna cast up at a 45-degree angle, rod out, just like so. A nice soft tip rod so you're feeling the weight on the bottom of the river and you're following it down river just like so. That's why using a bait caster or an inline reel is going to be so key for this. You can have your thumb on the spool like so. You can feel the line as it's drifting down underneath the water. You're going to follow it till you're about a 45-degree angle, almost a full 180 down the river, and then you're going to reel it back in, you're going to bring it back up, and you're going to cast it back up river, okay? If you're in a slower current body of water, you're going to want to switch to a bobber dogging or a float style fishing setup. Drift fishing is great from the bank as long as you have the current to fish it in. This is a super simple and easy setup. Anybody can fish it, and it's one of the most effective ways to get out there and bonk some of these giant winter steelhead right on the head. Also, if you're feeling like you can, if you have the casting space from the bank, just like the bobber dogging setup, you could also attach a second offering or bait just like so, and you could drift fish both, where the bead will pull the yarn ball or the yarnie up into the water system a little bit so you can fish a little bit higher and have just double the baits in the waters and double the presentation to pass by those fish. Some fish might be sitting a little bit lower in the water system, some might be sitting a little bit higher. So utilizing every aspect of the fishing style will definitely help you guys get hooked up more times than not. All right, guys, this was a super simple and easy setup to go out there and get you guys on some of your first, if not maybe your 100th steelhead. And this is one of the #1 techniques that we use to bonk big steelhead in the wintertime on the Clearwater, on the North Umpqua River, all the way down in Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. So stay tuned for the next episode. The Lew's Mach 2 Baitcaster Combo giveaway is happening right after the new year, and we are going to go live a couple days after the new year. We're going to give the rod away live on stream for one of you guys that have subscribed, liked, and shared videos. So make sure you guys tune in for that. It's been a great year. Next year is going to be hopefully even better. We're going to bonk a ton of big fish on the head, and it's all going to be on camera for you guys. So stay tuned. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Walking on water. Peace out.